Next topic we are having measurement of time. So with this we have completed with our length and mass topic. So now we are going to start with the topic of measurement of time. So first of all we should know what is a time. Time is defined as an interval between two events occurring at given place. So that interval between two events, for example, you are going to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and at exact 8 a.m. you are going to the school. Okay, so this interval between two events, by your waking up and you are going to school, the interval between these two events, this is known as time. In between this time is there. Okay, so this is a definition of time. Next, we are having SI unit of time. Like SI unit of length is meter, SI unit of mass is kilogram. In the similar way, SI unit of time is second. Okay. Next, we are having other units of time. As we know, SI unit of time is second, but instead of second, we are using many other units of time also. For example, minute, hour, day, and like years, month. These are also the other units of time. Next, we are having measurement of time in olden days. So nowadays we are having many kind of clocks, electronic watch, digital watch, everything we are having in order to know the time. But in the ancient period, in the olden days, no these kind of things are there. So what the ancient people are doing? The ancient people are using different kind of instrument in order to know the time. But these instruments, whatever they are using, that are not that much accurate. It is always giving different values, but still they are not having any kind of choice, so they are using these kind of instruments. So first instrument used to measure the time period in olden day is water clock. This is a kind of water clock which they are using in order to measure the time. In the water clock, here some markings are there. They will see the marking like how much time it will take in order to empty this vessel. So this vessel is going to empty and this water is going to move downside. So how much time or how much reading it is going to take, by this way they are going to calculate the time period. Next instrument they are having the sundial clock. This is a kind of sundial clock on which readings are marked there, and when sun came, this line is having some of its shadow, because when sun is overhead, this line is going to give the shadow on the sundial clock. So according to this shadow and according to the rotation of sun, they are going to measure the time period, but these kind of time period are not accurate that days. Next we are having next kind of instrument used to measure the time is sand clock. So this is a sand clock. In this sand clock, two like beakers are there. In one beaker sand is there, and this sand is slowly and gradually moving into this like beaker, and afterward they will just put it return, and that sand will go back into this again. So how much time, like for example it takes 1 hour to empty this, and again they are like rotate it, and again 1 hour it take to move the sand into one container to second container. So by this they just estimate the time period. Next we are having measurement of time in nowadays. Nowadays we are having so many instrument gadgets in order to know the time period, even though we can just calculate fractions of second also very accurately nowadays. So first instrument we are going to use, that is pendulum clock. This is a kind of pendulum clock which we are using in our like homes in order to know the time period. Next we are having wall clock. Might be this kind of wall clock you have seen at your home. So this wall clock is very accurate in order to know the time period. Like if you are at your home, that also wall clock is giving the same time, and if you are standing outside also to any other house, that also is giving the same time. So these kind of wall clocks are giving exact and accurate time period. Next, we are having stopwatch. Stopwatch is very important for the athletes. Athletes and that the sportsman, they are using the stopwatch in order to measure the fractions of second also. Okay, if they want to calculate fractions of second also, say they are using the stopwatch. Next, we are having 24-hour clock. Actually, clock which we are using, that clock is of two types. Clock is of two types. One is 12-hour clock and second is 24-hour clock. The clock which we are using in our house, this kind of clock, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 11, then again 12. This is 12-hour clock in which we are using AM for morning and PM for evening. So two intervals are there. From midnight 12 to afternoon 12, we are having AM. Then from afternoon 12 to midnight 12 we are using the PM. So in two set we are calculating the time period in 12-hour clock. But what about in 24-hour clocks? Actually in 24-hour clock there is no set of time period. Here for example here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it again start from 13. It will like here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 11, 12, then again 1 come na. But in 24-hour clock when it will start from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, then 12, then it start from 13, 14, 15, 16 like this. Okay, here we are not going to use any kind of AM or PM. Here just if I'm saying 13 o'clock is time, 13 o'clock is time, 13 o'clock means 1 PM is there. 1 PM is there. How we will come to know? If 24-hour time is given, just minus it from the 12. When you will minus it from 12, you will come to know about the 12-hour clock. So in the 24-hour clock, we are having marking from 0 to 23. So here 24 are there, like 20, 0, 1, 2, 3, 24 graduations are there, and here only 12 graduations are there. In 12-hour clock, 12 graduations are there. In 24-hour clock, from 0 to 23, 24 graduations are there. Okay, and in 24-hour clock we are not using any kind of AM and PM, but in order to know the morning and evening, there we are using AM and PM.